Hello, my name is Anna Obrecht, and this is the second part to my compensation presentation. And this is the continuation of what changes happen when changes are made in the mindset of what traditionally we approach compensation as. And we highlight money a lot in our culture, and so here we're trying to learn how to separate leadership from pay. So what happens when this mindset does make a shift? There is a high amount of trust in the culture, and this is established right away. And so it comes with honesty in the work, in what is provided and what is carried out. There is honesty and earnestness in the feedback from the supervisors and the managers to the employees who are providing this honesty in work. And there's sincerity in improvement. So anytime the feedback is positive criticism or something where there might be a challenge that they might be able to improve from, there is a sincere approach to wanting to make those changes for the better of the individual as an employee, because it's going to affect not only them, but it's going to affect the company itself. Also, some other changes that are affected when this mindset does take a positive shift. There is an agile culture in the workplace. So there is more ability and more growth happening within the team members of the company. They start to want to go beyond what is expected of them, and it just naturally occurs, as what they found in this research. They want to go beyond what their employers are expecting of them. They want to go beyond what their job description is expecting from them. And they also set themselves higher goals. So if the company is asking them to meet a high quota, they will go beyond what the quota of the company is, so that they can prove something very specific to themselves. It just becomes a very positively competitive environment that does bring huge benefits and profit to the company. So a question that has been brought up by some people who challenge this type of change in the mindset because they are very comforted by the traditional approach is what happens to the free riders. The free riders are the people that benefit from changes such as these, but aren't really tuned into making the changes for themselves individually, but they still reap the benefits. So what happens to those people? And the answer to this question was plain and simple. There is not a lack in this type of new approach and this type of new mindset. There is an actual lack in the leadership, and that needs to be discussed. That needs to be the main concern in that situation. So it becomes a leadership issue. So in that case, the leadership of the company, so the human resources department, the supervisors, the managers, the executive team, they need to improve their delegating skills. So they need to be able to not so much micromanage unless the employee unfortunately is calling for that type of attention, because we want to push people to work at their best. But in this case, delegating properly, making sure that everybody has an equal amount of work to do, and hiring better employees. So it all starts from there. You want the best for your company. So if you're not hiring the best, if you're hiring your sister, if you're hiring your cousin, or you're hiring a friend, or you're hiring your friend's friend, because of these type of connections or familiarities, you're probably going to have too much confidence within the workplace, or just maybe somebody that is employed in the company but lacks in that type of initiative to do more than what they are asked to do, or just doing their job necessarily what they're being asked to do. It might be time to let them go and hire somebody that is willing to step up to the plate and bring benefit and bring profit to the company. Because at the end of the day, the employees are there to make the company profitable. There will be no employees if the company does not benefit, because the benefit will be able to provide for the employees. So the supervisors know exactly who these people are, and sometimes, in some cases, it is known that they are being enabled, that these free riders are being enabled. In what way? In the sense that they're not being stopped. So they're not being acknowledged. Somebody might be too shy to mention it to them. Somebody might not be brave enough to confront them. They might have, these free riders might have been there for longer periods than the leadership. So there's a lot of things that go into play about supervision and managing the team. But again, the company needs to profit in order to sustain the employees. So anytime you feel like, you're not brave enough, or you're overthinking, confronting, if you're a superior, you're confronting an employee about their lack of work that is expected of them, this should be something that pops into any supervisor's mind. In order for the company to pay me, the whole team has to be doing their job and has to be doing an absolutely great job, if that. So that is something that needs to be handled by the leadership, and if it's not, then that's where the issue's coming from. So in conclusion, just want to state that when the interviewing process does occur as a candidate for a position, these are some things to keep in mind. In order to have this type of mindset where leadership is separated from pay, you want to ask the next following questions. What kind of culture does this workplace have? And you want to look for answers like, it's a collaborative environment. We love teamwork. There's a lot of trust here. We appreciate feedback. Those are things that you want to be looking out for as you're doing your interviews, because the interviewer is going to ask you questions, but they're also going to give the candidate an opportunity to ask questions as well. And so these are two really important questions to ask. And then also ask not only about the culture, but ask about their pay. How do they pay? So this is where you will be able to separate what type of atmosphere, what type of ambience, what type of culture the workplace has in regards to how they compensate their employees. So you can ask a question like, how do I make sure that I earn more? Or what can I do to earn less? And depending on these answers or these responses from the interviewer, you'll be able to determine if leadership is separated from pay, or if they are merely going at the traditional approach and making sure that they give you more if you do more. My name is Anna Obrecht, and I really want to thank you for listening to my presentation.